Arg! Hello and welcome. That was hard.
Arg.
Arg! That's what pirates say, right? Arg.
Yeah.
Give me an example.
Yo ho.
That wasn't an arg. That was a yo.
I was getting to the arg. Yo ho.
Okay, go.
I'm a pirate. Arg.
Arr! I'm a pirate. And welcome to the Ghost Book Archive, Chapter 6. All about pirates. As you can see, we are pirates. I even cut off my hand just to get this little hook. And I have this little parrot called,
Misty.
Misty?
No, I don't know. That just came to
Parrot
my head.
can't be called Misty. That's...
My friend's cat is named Misty, so I just...
We'll just call the parrot.
Parent.
Parrot.
Parent.
Parrot.
Parrot. My cat is like literally scratching on the door right now.
Lovely. That means we need to take a drink, right?
She's making noise.
Yeah, so today we have pirate stories, we have sea shanties, and we're drinking rum. Well, I think you're drinking rum, right?
I'm drinking gin right now, but I'm getting to the rum.
It's make believe rum. Yeah, and so every time the cat makes a noise, we have to take a drink. And so she just did scratching and she just meowed, so that's strong. And anytime one of us says the word like, we have to drink. So if we notice each other saying it, we have to say, "Hey, you said like."
You said like twice now. I said it once, so.
Okay.
Fine.
The L word is forbidden. I will not be saying it ever again. Isn't that right, parrot? Parrot. I don't like that.
Oh, I like that. Parrot.
Hello, parrot. Yeah, let's go with that. Parrot. Also, this hat's really annoying me because it's sitting on top of my headphones. It's like, it's a very wobbly hat. And this iPad, we are very moany pirates. All we're going to do is complain. We're the complainer pirates. This must be a kid's hook or something because it's too short for my hand.
It looks very silly. It looks so very, I don't know. And it's made of like fabric.
Yeah.
Shouldn't it be like a proper, like, I don't know.
Don't be so cruel to my hook.
Yeah, and also
I just tried to look through this side of the telescope. I see you.
That would be a funny scene in some kind of show. Just a pirate with a telescope.
Yeah. Oh shit!
You're a mess today. You're a mess.
I'm a mess. So are you. We're both just... I hate life. Okay. Fuck the hat.
No, put it on. If I have to wear this eyebrow, you're gonna...
But I'm wearing an eyebrow too.
And also I'm wearing like a jacket and it's so hot in here.
It is. I almost wore a jacket until I realized how hot it was. I was like, no. Oh no, I said the word. I said the L word.
You just called yourself out? You have to drink. I don't have to drink.
Me. And she meowed.
This jacket has like what's it called? Pads. So that my shoulders look really big in this.
Big shoulders, Zilver.
Mm-hmm. No, actually...
We are going to be so shit-faced because your cat just won't shut up and neither of us can avoid the L word.
True. She'll probably shut up after a while, but right now she's been crazy, like, basically all day. She's gonna have to get tired at some point. And I've been doing everything trying to police her and play with her and give her food, but she's just like not okay today, which I get because bad days for everyone.
Yeah, none of us are okay.
I can't see, like, this hurts. I want to just close my eyes.
You do that. This is going to be great when I start reading my story with one eye. Maybe I will.
I think maybe
be stumbling more than you.
We should take them off, like, a bit.
Nah, not yet.
Somehow I feel like I'll get drunk faster with my one eye covered because it feels so.
You only have half of your faculties around you, so yeah.
Yeah.
So we're starting off. We have both written pirate stories, and so the objective was the task was we had to write a pirate story about the worst treasure. That was the prompt we had to go with. We did have a word limit of 1,000 words, but someone went for double that by accident.
No, cause I it wasn't yeah, it was a big accident, but also I cut it down to 1.7K. So it's a bit shorter than originally. It was actually
Yeah.
over 2,000.
It took me a while to actually start writing mine, but
Mhm.
once I started it, I felt like it went so fast and I wrote it so easily. And
Yeah.
I was hitting 900 words and I was like, oh, I need to wrap this up now. So I
Damn.
quickly changed some stuff. So I almost wish that I knew you had done like 2000 because then I would have just said, let's just make it
Oh
2000 and I would
damn.
have done the same. But
Yeah,
it
but
was
I
too
wrote
late.
mine like right now, like right before this. So,
Yeah.
well,
How do
I've
you
been
feel like it went?
I'm not sure. I hoped I would like make a great, amazing story because I love pirates so much, but it could be better, you know? It's not like bad. I'm not like disappointed or anything. I'm just like, I know I
Yeah.
could have done better, but since I wrote most of it like today, it just felt kind of rushed maybe. And also
Okay.
since I had to cut out a lot of words because of the word count, it might feel a bit rushed, less detailed than I want it to be. Yeah, how are you feeling about yours?
I'm unsure. I might hate it. I didn't. I wrote mine. I read over it, and then I went to bed. I think. Yeah, I'm gonna need to read it. I've not read it since.
Ooh.
I just remember thinking it took a bit of a weird turn. I don't know how it's going to be. We will see. We will see.
But you always say that it's kind of weird or you don't like it that much, and then you read it again and you're like, "Oh, it's fine. It's actually fine." And I'm like,
Mm.
"Yeah, this was good," you
Yeah,
know. So
yeah. I do that a
I'm
lot.
excited. When you say weird turn, I feel like I'm gonna like it. Anyway, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, that's good."
Oh, you're going to be like. Oh shit!
Oh
I said the
shit!
word as well. I need to not say the word. I need to say you said the L word.
Oh Jesus.
I didn't give mine a title as per usual.
Yeah.
But this is my pirate story. My hat feels like it's about to fall off. I hate this hat. This hat is my worst enemy of the day.
Just off the day.
Just of the day, because I'll probably never
Mm,
wear it ever again. Okay. That's very, yeah. I'm a mess. Are you okay, Parrot? Ben's going to be
parrot.
jealous. So, my story, yeah, I don't know how to describe it. I'm just going to read it to you and we will see how it goes. Are you
I'm
ready for this?
excited. Yes.
I need to get my voices ready. Should we also do every single time we have to restart a line, you have to take a drink?
E- eh,
Let's forget that. Okay,
okay.
I'm ready to read.
I'm ready to listen.
April. Miss April. It's July. Huh? Johnston scratched his head. It's September, miss. Then why did you say it's April? Asked April, her face expressionless. I didn't. It be your name. I know what my name is, Johnston, April snapped, pushing past the broad shouldered crewmate. He is resting. Do I look like I care what sheep eat for supper? April scowled at him. No, well, don't think so. He needs to see it. You found it? Johnston's face lit up. Where is it? He noticed her left hand was clasped tightly into a fist. There was something in that hand of hers. We're not to be disturbed until the clouds massage the moon, Johnston. April turned and disappeared into the captain's quarters. Understood, miss, Johnston muttered to himself, though his words were not the truth. In his head, there lay a plethora of unanswered questions. What had happened to the four crewmates that had gone ashore with Miss April? Had she really found the infamous lost treasure of Captain Momus? What was it? How was it possible that she could fit such a great treasure in the palm of her hand? And why was she talking so strangely? No, although Johnston had said that he understood, the truth could not have been more different. Captain Kinley's cabin was dark and deathly silent. So silent, April thought, that she could have heard a rat piss on cotton. As she edged closer to his father's bedside, she lit a few candles to create some light. I found it, Captain, who is also my father. The man who ate a whole table for supper on the day of his 13th birthday. And the man who didn't ever not push grains of rice into my mother's eyes. I found it. The pirate captain remained sound asleep beneath his sheets. April looked down on him, tracing his face with her eyes. He does not look like a pirate ought to look, she thought. Despite sailing the seas for almost 4 decades, partaking in much tomfoolery, whoring, and piracy, the man showed no signs of it on his body. He still had both his eyes, legs, and arms. He didn't even have any obvious scars. For a moment, April considered that perhaps her father had never been a pirate at all. She quickly came to the conclusion that her thought had been ridiculous. Her father loved salty water too much to lie about such a thing. April, Captain Kinley softly mumbled as he reached up and felt for her face. Is that you, my girl? No, it's January. What was that? The elderly Captain Kinley was barely cognitively functional at the best of times. There was no hope for him now. I found it, Papa. The Nile need no longer weep with daggers. There was a single tear in her eye. I always wanted to see Egypt, the old pirate coughed, trying to sit up. There is little worse than when the blue men sailed to England for the cheese. Here, take it. April opened up her hand, revealing a small golden bean. Her father's eyes almost burst out of his head at the sight of it. He found himself unable to divert his gaze for even a second. He could not even blink. It's for me. The old man's face flooded with tears. He had never cried like that before, and April had never seen anyone cry like that before. But if earlier that day she had been in possession of a looking glass, then perhaps she might have. Careful, it's heavier than the leftovers of a badger who ate eggs on toast. I always loved eggs on toast, the captain wept, taking the bean into his own hand. He curled his fingers and held the treasure tightly against his chest. His tears vanished. Keeping it safer than wood would be smart, Papa. The pirate did not speak. He was conscious, but he was no longer present. His hand slowly began to drop from his chest, and as it reached his lap, his hand ever so slightly opened. From the small gap emerged a thin piece of cloth. April leaned in and opened his hand all the way. In her father's hand was a golden eye patch. Haunting screams reached the furthest crevices of the ship. April had made clear to Johnston that she and her father were not to be disturbed, but there was no way to keep the whole crew from rushing to investigate. Johnston, standing with more men than could reasonably fit inside the captain's quarters, could barely lift his jaw from the floor. A disturbed snake dances in milk, April laughed hysterically, her hands soaked in blood. Despite the shared feelings of shock felt by the crew, a couple of men managed to work up the courage to step in and apprehend her. She did not put up a fight. Johnston moved in close to his captain's bedside, inspecting Miss April's work up close. Captain Kinley had always been good to his crew. Johnston had known the man a long time. He did not deserve such a fate. Johnston reached down and removed the golden eye patch from his captain's lifeless face, revealing a desecrated eye socket. He looked around for the socket's former inhabitant, but there was no sign of it. Green tasting of the smiley seagulls, April screamed out, still laughing as she was hauled out of the room. Johnston looked down at the golden eye patch in his hand, but it was gone. Instead, he found himself holding a fat golden bee. He was allergic to bees.
Oh, that was
Parrot, parrot,
that was
parrot.
interesting, to say the
Yeah.
least. It was so
Interesting.
it's like crazy, but in a good way. And I really like the characters, like, and it's very like funny.
Yeah. I
Cause you got she
oh,
meowed
that was a meow. Oh, that's
twice.
two.
Ooh, I mixed a
Mm.
bad drink. Okay, I don't know. It's just very unique. I feel like I've never read anything like this.
Yeah,
And
the dialogue. What I was going to say, I need to ask you:
mhm.
Do you have any guesses what the treasure actually was? So the whole point was it was to write about the worst treasure, and so I was kind of vague about what actually the treasure was,
Shit.
but there are
Um,
clues there.
let me think. It was a golden bean, and then
Mm-hmm.
it turned into something. I don't know if the golden eye patch was something he already had, but since it's golden, I feel like it's the bean. But
Mhm.
also, I feel like he had some kind of spell on him, like a golden eye patch that made his scars disappear.
Well, okay, so you've got some right, some. So basically, the idea here was that the treasure was the bean, and the bean transformed into an eye patch, and then at the end, it transformed into a bee, and so it was golden. And so the point was, this treasure it's the worst treasure because what this treasure actually does is it transforms into the thing that the person holding it wants the least. So it turns into what you do not want. And this man, he was a pirate who had spent all these years at sea. He had never had any scars or anything like that. What's the last thing he wants? An eye patch, because he doesn't have any scars from his entire life to show for it. He doesn't have that sort of thing missing. So it
Oh,
turns into the thing he has no use for or doesn't want. At the end, it's turning into
okay.
a bee because that man's allergic to bees. That's the last thing he wants because a bee's
Oh,
going to
I
kill him.
see.
And for the more vague part that's not quite as obvious is April, she has a bean, and it's not necessarily just a bean that she doesn't want a bean. It's more the fact that it's actually some sort of magical bean, and what it's actually
Hmm.
done to her is it's actually turned her insane.
Yeah,
This thing
cause
has actually
yeah,
cursed her. So what the treasure has done to her is the thing she wants least in life, and the thing she wants least in life is to lose her mind essentially.
yeah, cause
And
she
I didn't
seemed
really have
kind
enough
of
space to elaborate
crazy.
on that, but yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was kind of the idea. So it was a treasure that, as it passes from person to person, the treasure transforms into the thing that that person wants least. And we need to take another 2 drinks. 3 drinks. This cat wants us shit faced. That's 4. What was that for?
Yikes. But that was a really like unique idea. Um, and I feel like we have to drink again. That's what I feel like. No, because I feel like it gave me like a lot of things to think about, I guess,
Yeah,
and there's a lot of room for like interpretation. And I always like when you can think about a story later. And I feel like this
yeah.
is a story I'm gonna like remember because there's just an impact.
Hmm.
Because it was so like nothing I've ever read before.
I actually have a. This is a bit off topic, but I actually have a screenplay that I wrote a couple of years ago
Hmm.
that I've never done anything with. But the dialogue and the sort of setup is very similar to this, with a very absurd
Oh.
dialogue, and it's a very unique thing that if you I will let you read it one time, but it's a very unique sort of approach, and that sort of approach inspired my idea when I started writing this. But yeah, I wish I had more room to elaborate on it. If
Hmm.
I knew you had done more words, like if I knew that in
Hmm.
advance, I just said the word.
Oh, I don't have to drink. You need to stop calling yourself out. It's about us calling each other out,
Yeah,
isn't
I
it?
know. Yeah, okay, I need to stop.
But you just want to drink. I get that. You know,
Okay.
you just love drinking.
Yep. Parrot agrees. I'm a parrot.
You
Parrot.
keep saying his
Parrot.
name differently every time.
I
Yeah.
don't think so. It was always parrot.
No, it's Perot. I don't know.
No, it was
Perot?
parrot.
Or maybe it
Parrot.
was Perot. But at some point you said like something else. And I was like, was that correct?
Squawk, squawk. I'm a bird. Anyway,
I keep touching my face and hair and stuff because it's all so much with the iPad.
stop touching your hair. What's hair in Norwegian?
Hår.
Whore.
Hår.
Whore.
Hår.
Whore. 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 Okay.
Hår. You need to roll the R's
Harr. Horror.
like a pirate. Yeah. We're
Horror.
both like pirate, like adjacent, aren't we? Your accent is like genuinely just pirate. She's running around like a crazy person.
She is a crazy person.
Yeah.
What if your cat is actually a person that transformed into an animal?
Wow. I would be horrified, mortified. Like
Yeah.
living with another person. That's scary. Living with a cat. Girl, what you doing?
Okay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I was wondering. Wait, I have a few questions.
Okay. Oh no, I dropped something.
Let's drink every time you drop something, because that's like often.
Oh no, I can't find what I dropped. Ah, the hat! I hate this hat. Have I said that? Have I said that I hate this hat?
What inspires you to create characters like this, like interesting characters that you always write about? I feel like you always have such interesting characters, so I want to know like what makes you like get the idea of a character.
Well, honestly, I don't really know.
You don't
I,
know?
I don't find them. I don't like. Oh no. I. No,
Yeah, you said like 5
yeah, I was
times, and
trying.
I said like twice now, 3 times. Okay.
This is going so badly. We're such a
Ooh.
mess. I'm bad enough when I can see. I can't even see with one eye. What is
So,
this? I'm reaching for this red thing, but it's on the shoulder. Peekaboo. Imagine if
that's
this was my hair.
weird. Is your perception of viewing things like completely off now? Do you feel
Yeah,
like
I can't
the
see
things
anything here.
are on different sides than they actually are?
When I started this, I don't know, like Johnston. I was like,
Mm,
oh no, um, I keep distracting myself because I said the word, and then you're supposed. Then I was like, oh no, I'm too conscious of it.
no, because you're supposed to like not say anything if
I
you
know, but I'm
notice.
too conscious of it. I keep stopping when I say it.
Because
But
I won't notice like over like half the
yeah,
time because I'm very distracted, and I'm trying to
okay,
focus on what you're actually saying.
yeah.
I can think about two things at the same time.
So when I was writing this, I started and Johnston, for example, I don't know where that came from. I was just trying to think of
Mm,
a name, and I thought a J name, Johnston. Well, I didn't think Johnston right away because that's
mhm.
not even a real name. I don't know what I'm trying to say. My head's not working.
Are you drunk already?
I don't think so. I feel in so many ways I'm so out of it because of this eye patch, and I'm trying to sit so still so this
Yeah.
hat doesn't fall off my head. I'm sweating like a hooker in church, and then
Yeah.
I've got like it's just the whole thing is, and then the drinking on top of it.
Yeah, you're probably overstimulated AF.
Yeah, that's definitely what's happening right now.
Mm.
I'm
Let's
like,
just take a moment. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more time. Breathe in, breathe out. Okay.
it didn't help.
Of course it didn't.
I feel the
Jesus.
same.
Oh no.
No, actually, my eyes are cloudy.
Huh.
I'm swimming through the mist. I really am why would I be swimming in the mist? I'm walking. What is this episode? What is this? This really is a pirate episode. It's just
Yeah.
chaos. This entire thing.
Yeah. We're in the mindset of pirates right now. We're just
Arg, yo ho ho! I am a pirate.
arg.
Arg, 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 arg,
What else do they say? I don't know
arg.
anything. Arg, just arg. Arg.
I like rum.
My uncle always says those words like arg, and I'm like, what are you a pirate or something? But he reads a lot of comics, or he used to read a
Yeah,
lot of comics, and they always write out the
yeah,
words like arg. If
yeah.
they were like
See,
angry, it's like arg, you know. And he
arg,
just like
arg.
read that and thought that I should be the person to say that out loud.
Maybe he should. Maybe he's right for that. That's his legacy. Okay, so characters. I don't know what I'm trying to say anymore. So the characters, I don't know where the inspiration comes from. I just
Meow.
fuck.
Two times. Yummy,
I don't know where they.
delicious.
I don't know how to answer that question right now.
Okay.
The yapper has been yap feated.
Yep. Oh, good for you. No, I like the This is gonna be a clip, a TikTok video.
You think?
Yeah.
I'm having
Yep.
some water now.
Good for you. Yep, feeded. Every time I watch these videos back, she meowed. One more time.
Your cat is evil.
Yeah, she wants us to die. One more time.
Jesus Christ. I'm getting a workout with this arm every time I lift a glass. Oh my lord.
That's a workout?
Thank you. Of course, you have the most vocal cat in the world.
Yep. My grandma just said that today. She was like, I have never met a cat that is so noisy. Because dogs are usually the ones going...
Do you think she sees parrots and that's what the issue is? Oh,
Two more. Okay, 5. Okay, I'm gonna pop open the rum for this one.
I'm so done. Ah! Oh, thank you. Thank you. Oh, stop it. Stop it.
Wait, how many is that?
That was 3.
Are we twinning right now? Are we twinning?
We're so twinning.
We are twinning.
I'm just so scared I'm going to spill things because I only have one eye and I'm clumsy enough already.
We're matching outfits and matching everything.
How many
right now.
is that?
Fucking 16. I don't know. Oh, that's actually kind of yummy.
Oh, it's actually kind of yummy.
Shut up. Yeah, I think I'm getting more drunk by this eye patch. Because it feels like
Watch your mouth. Or you'll get connived.
Fine. You can try me, bitch.
I'm drinking the wrong thing.
I already got scars.
I was going to try and punch the camera there, but I'm just going to drop things. I'm not going to do that.
That was a pathetic little scream. Okay, I'm just gonna take this stupid thing off because I'm dying.
Really?
I have my scar anyways.
Wimp.
Oh shit.
I'm not giving up yet. I like your scar though. Your scar does look good.
Thanks. I wish I had it in real life.
Well, let's give you it.
No, because I want to get it naturally, not from not self-inflicted.
Okay, I'll plot an accident for you.
Just push me randomly and give me a scar.
Push you randomly against a sharp axe that's facing you.
Imagine I died from it and you're like, oops.
Whoops. I guess you said now.
Oh shit. Are you gonna cry if I die?
No.
No. Okay. Mr. Mean Guy.
Thanks.
Rude Ryan. There you go.
Rude Ryan. I'll take it.
She meowed like twice. Yeah.
And another one. Oh god. I'm gonna spit this everywhere. What the fuck?
Jesus, I'm dying.
Tell your cat I'm bringing this fucking hook.
No, because she's been extra crazy today, and I feel like that's because she knew we were gonna do this. It
right,
feels
is there
so much
else?
Better without the eye patch. I'm like alive right now.
That was another one. She just. Oh, yeah, meow again. Yeah, okay.
This was a mistake.
I've had enough talking about my story. It was a weird one.
We barely talked about your story.
Well, okay, ask me something else. Go.
I feel like you have a very creative way of writing. I think you come up with ideas very kind of not easily, but brother, what you doing?
I was blowing this little red thing out the way. And
she meowed like 5 times. 2 times. Girl, what? Shh.
This is.
She never listens. Like when I tell her to, she just meows more.
Okay,
I'm giving
tell
her
to meow. Tell her to meow.
Puss, say meow. She did. She did.
We can't do shit because all she does is meow.
No, because what the fuck? No, I think you need to take off your eyebrow.
That one's not as bad. It's the hat was killing me sitting still. Now I can move. Now I'm in the Matrix. I've got the movement. Hello, parrot.
If you
Hello,
say,
parrot.
I've got
Hello,
the
parrot.
movement on the dance floor, you're gonna just kill it.
I got the movement on the dance floor. Hit the music.
That's some dope moves, man.
Thanks.
I think I've never seen anyone dance that well, ever. I wonder how
through my nose.
pirates danced before.
Do they dance to sea shanties? I don't think so.
Yes, they do. They do a little hopty-dopty.
A little jig. Hopty-dopty? Is that like a brother of Humpty Dumpty? What's going on? I'm so... Yeah, I would say with my writing, I feel like I am always looking for unique ways, unique structures, just different ways. I try not to write generically or ways that I normally see in most books. I like to mix it up a little bit and use different techniques. I was talking about how I took a technique of dialogue from some of the Witcher books, the author Andrzej Sapkowski. I was talking about how I use some of the dialogue like that. And I like to do stuff like that.
Did you say like? Drink.
Yeah. I enjoy doing stuff like that often.
Why are you dying?
I just...
Did you say it again? You said it again. My hair is fucking stupid. Okay.
Stupid hair! You stupid hair!
That's
I'm
me
dead.
every day. Should I go?
So
this
dead.
is more of a pirate look, isn't it?
What is this podcast episode? We are now going to move on to your story.
I'm gonna do bad reading and I'm gonna sound very monotone and weird, but I hope people can hear what I'm saying at least.
Just have fun with it.
I never have fun when reading out loud.
Just be
Who
like,
has
the
fun
key to
reading out loud?
piratehood is setting your insides on fire with rum.
You should read my story then.
No, I shouldn't.
Okay, I'll just go. The key to piratehood is setting your insides on fire with rum, to feel your chest grow warm with the burn of each swig. That was what their navigator would preach after each meal. Grab us another, Fenrir. The boisterous navigator pointed him towards the cupboard behind the depleted wine barrels. He sat neatly on a crate with a map on his knee, glasses sliding down his nose. It was their 7th day at sea, having wasted their time drinking away their rations ever since their last stop on land. A barrel of corked wine. Fenrir fought with the cabinet door, stuck in the frame and nearly falling off its hinges. The last bottle of rum. Tark, you better slow down. This is the last one, he said in a defeated tone. There was no convincing Tark. The most common of common sense could not make him budge. A few meows resounded by the pantry. He looked over at the 3 stray cats. The little pests snuck on board a couple of moons ago. He threw them the chicken bones left on his plate and watched them fight over it. The scent of sweat filled the damp room as Tark and Mullo threw down the last bottle of rum. Mullo, the crew's self-proclaimed smart guy, was no good at holding his liquor. Triggs, the ship's captain, peeked through the door, hair unkempt as ever, a wild look in his eye, the other eye being covered by an eye patch, with part of a scar peeking out from underneath. Any more rum? The captain yawned. Mullo looked around frantically, regret in his voice as he fumbled for an excuse. Not that the captain would be angry. He was a gentle, soft-spoken man, contrary to his reputation of savagery. Their captain had an obsession with history, most exclusively the history of pirates, some old book perpetually in his hand, the hand with most fingers still attached to it. He'd rant about ships laying at the bottom of the ocean, snuggling up against the sand dunes and seaweed, the writings of deceased pirates ever in his searchlight. Fenrir found the captain peculiar. He was far too impulsive. As a ship's doctor, he couldn't condone the captain unceasingly rushing the crew into fruitless battles. Medicine came naturally to him, having grown up with his mother's homemade teas and balms. He spent evenings with the ship's chef, Poi, sitting on the floor of the small kitchen, making herbal potions, taking turns using the stove and sharing stories with the smiley chef. Vials and dried weeds filled his coat pockets, along with a golden blade at his hip. It was laced with poison, wrapped carefully in cloth, and tucked inside its holster. Two of the crew members sat idly in a corner, a pouch of dried fruit shared between them. They had joined their crew on their last stop. They were the only women on board, though disguised as men, with loose trousers, white shirts, and large hats to cover their faces. The captain, dejected and rumless, went over to the two to steal a handful of their treats, easily striking up a conversation with the two. The captain found immense value in their company, as they were seasoned readers and writers, their conversations turning to background noise immediately, not an ounce of sense in their cryptic exchange. The women called themselves Ruggs and Radsey, Radsey's voice rough and deep, and her shoulders wide. It was enough to fool a drunkard into thinking it was indeed a man, while Ruggs could only pass as a 9-year-old boy. Fenrir's friend Sarad slammed open the old oak door and made his way down the stairs. "We've reached land," Sarad huffed heavily as he crouched under the low ceiling and rushed back up the stairs without waiting for a response. They would joke he was as tall as their shipmast, musculous arms which carried him high up the ship's rigging as their trusty lookout. He had great wonder in his eyes, a big smile ever across his lips. Fenrir was already on his feet, rushing to the deck after the other man. He looked towards the starry night and immediately noticed the speck of land in the distance, heart beating with vigor, more than ready to discover what was ahead of them. The complaints about having a rum-free excursion quieting down as the remaining crew emerged and lined up against the edge of the ship. "I don't like the look of this island," Fenrir said, frowning at the smoke emerging from the north. "Actually, I believe it's an archipelago, not an island," Mollo said with a tone so arrogant it was nauseating. His bony arms crossed over his visible ribs, brow raised. He ignored the statement along with the rest of them and took the binoculars from Sarad. The treasures they had found thus far were only coincidental, simply a side quest for their mad captain, his obsession with books and adventure often causing them more loss than profit. Their ship had several engravings from the previous crew, one of the most notorious pirate crews of their century, the Sapphire Pirates, ruling the seas just half a century ago. Their captain was, to say the least, a big fan. There was a large symbol carved on the mast. He'd see the captain standing there often, observing with a thumb on his chin. He'd learned the tale of the captain of the Sapphire Pirates, who had hidden their dearest treasure in a field of flowers. As the myth said, if you bring his bones to the Doria's flowers and pour water over them, the treasure will reveal itself. The Doria's plants were growth so large they resembled trees with yellow petals, only growing on the Isle of Flora, the island they were anchoring by at that very moment. The rotten carcass of Captain Odag in a conspicuous crate, wood marked with a red skull. Ragged shoes on sandy shores, they stumbled drunk towards rich flourishing woods. Apart from Fenrol and Triggs, who were as sober as a pirate was allowed to be, so just a little tipsy. Their previous adventures amounting in treasure perhaps a quarter of the time. Their captain spent day and night accumulating and reading old maps and journals left by pirates of the past, not for their treasures, but for their story. The lust of gold being left for Tark and Mollo, while the captain collected the sacks of journals and papers from whatever treasure trove they searched. Mollo would sniff out the treasures and riches. He was the only reason the crew could eat. They did not know what in fact the captain was searching so frantically for, but they came along on all of his journeys either way. They set up camp in the woods as the crew passed out on the humid grass. Fenrir went deeper into the woods to stock up on medicinal herbs. The island was overgrown with vegetation, abundant with fruit-bearing trees. Poi, the chef, got busy picking fruits and chopping wood for their ship's stove. Grunts and rustling woke them the next morning, a group of dark-eyed sailors hovering over them, oozing with murderous intent. "What are you doing in these parts, pirates?" the largest man of the group barked. Fenrir blinked, promptly looking over to their captain, who was still asleep with an open book on his nose. "We are simply exploring the land, fine sir," Mullo said after jolting awake, hands up in fear, talking them down with nonsensical articulation. After minutes, it seemed their skepticism lessened. The Dorias are in full bloom. You better set sail before the night falls, the large man said. The captain sat up in a rush, leaving the comfort of the grass. The Dorias. The book slid from his lap as he scrambled for his pocket watch. Who are you? He then said to the handful of new faces standing in the midst of their camp. Never mind that. We have no time. Grab the bones, Fenrir, Sarad. He threw on his tattered jacket and ran towards the path to their left, hat askew on his ruffled hair. If you're going for the Dorias, it's that way, another sailor spoke up, pointing the captain towards the south of the island. Oh, right. The captain shifted his stride, searching his pockets for a compass. The bewildered crew stumbled after him. Fenrir let out a huff and hiked the red marked box up onto his shoulder, Sarad taking the other end. The sailors seemed lost, but still wandered after the pirates. After hiking uphill for half a day, everyone but Sarad was tired and sweating profusely. The sailors were whispering horrors about the flowers, how at night the flowers would attract myriads of titan moths, enough of them to cloud the entire scope of your vision and cover your entire body. They'd crawl into your nose and mouth until you suffocate. It made Fenrir shiver, swearing to get away from the flowers before night was due. The field of flowers at last came into view, stems growing nearly as tall as the trees, with large flowers sprouting along the stem's surface. The captain ripped off the wooden boards of the crate, to then lay the bones in the middle of the field, emptying a barrel of water over it. The rotting carcass sunk into the earth, slowly, and then the ground opened up from underneath, revealing a glimmer of gold, the crew's eyes going wide, sure that it must be the shine of a real treasure, the setting sun reflecting its light across the entire field. The captain crouched before the revealed treasure, eyes filled with unshed tears. This is Odag's treasure. He shook as he picked up a tiny copper box. Much to the crew's dismay, the captain revealed a letter. A collective sigh escaped. Even the sailors looked disappointed. He read out the contents of the letter. It was a love letter to Odag's wife. Their captain shed tears as he read it, his hands shaking with anticipation. They had a child. They had a child. His legacy lives on. Having spent years to find a single letter, the crew was baffled. That's it? Sarad said, shoulders hanging. Nonsense. This is everything. The captain seemed to be the only one thinking that way. We have to find him, the captain shot up with wild eyes, striding back to where they came from, rustling the large stalks on his way. Find who? Fenrir shouted. The captain looked confused, searching each of his crew members' faces. Well, obviously, find Captain Odag's son. Period! I finished. Yay! I'm so happy.
First thing I want to say about your story is I loved all your names. You had such great names for all these characters.
Thanks. I tried.
Rogs and Radsy, like those are great names. And
Really?
Fenril, I mean that's a bit more basic, but yeah, Fenril and like you had some really good names in there. I was like, those are fun names. And I liked when you were reading it and normally you don't do like voices and stuff, but you were
Yeah.
this time. You were putting some voices on, which I thought made the actual reading and listening experience a little bit better. So you were doing a bit better
Thanks.
with that.
Because this is a more fun story, I feel like. Because it's a pirate, like, I feel like pirates are a bit more, rowdy, a bit more crazy with it. So I wanted to make it seem more fun, even though I have the most monotone voice. And also, I feel like my accent becomes so strong when I read these stories. Like when I'm just talking, it's
Yeah.
fine, but when I read these things, it sounds like I like have this really strong accent, you know?
I think it's because you focus on what you're reading and you're so intent on trying not to make mistakes, and so you're reading it exactly as it looks rather than thinking about putting on a performance or putting on a voice or putting on these sorts of things. You're so concerned about actually just reading the words, never mind
Yeah.
the other parts. So I think that's probably where that comes from.
Yeah.
There was a specific part that stood out to me, if
Really?
I can find it. When you read it, I thought, that's the best part. I don't like the look of this island, Fenrir said, frowning at the smoke emerging from the north. Actually, I believe it's an archipelago, not an island, Mollo said with his tone so arrogant it was nauseating. His bony arms crossed over his visible ribs, brow raised. I just loved that whole part. I don't know why, it just
Yeah,
really stood out to me. It
thanks.
was a really vivid description of those characters, and I was just
Mm.
imagining like those bony ribs, and even the actually I believe it's an archipelago, not an island, and I just really liked that. It had a lot of character to that. It really
Mm.
stood out to me, just the character of it. I also really liked in the end when we found out what your treasure was. It took a turn that I didn't see coming. I thought
Really?
at one point, is it going to be flowers or the treasure or something here? I was like, is this guy just obsessed with flowers? I keep saying the bad word, but um,
Tricky.
yeah. But I kept thinking maybe it's flowers.
Hmm.
But I really liked how you, in the end, the treasure was a letter.
Mhm.
I really liked that little twist at the end. I didn't expect that, and I like how like the thing is the worst treasure, and it's what you've done
Mhm.
is a very subjective thing. It's not just necessarily this is the worst treasure. It was subjective because to everyone who wasn't the captain,
Mm.
it was the worst treasure because
Yeah.
they've gone through all of what they've gone through. They've been searching for all this time, and they get a letter, and it means nothing to any of them. But to
True.
the captain, it's actually the best treasure. I thought that was a really good way to take it because I was thinking, oh, it just has to be a bad treasure. I didn't even think of the possibility that it could be very subjective in the sense that maybe the treasure's only bad if certain people come across it. So
Mhm.
I did like your little twist at the end there. I think I can definitely see why this was 2,000 words, and I can see there's definitely like little details you've probably taken out here. But I think it's even with taking that out, I think it works as the way it is. It's not something that needs to be expanded a lot. I mean, you probably could, but it works as the thing it is. You get a little peek into these people, you get a little peek into what's going on,
Mhm.
you get to know about this little treasure, and then it ends. And I kind of like that.
Thank you very
Sarad, that's
much.
another name. I just read that one again. Sarad. There were just so many good names in there. I keep saying that, but you had a lot of good names. Yeah, I felt like a lot of it was you done a few things that were just a bit different from when you normally do. And as you say, maybe it's because it was more of a fun topic to you.
Mhm.
A lot of the other stuff we've done, I feel like you've written very dark stories.
Yeah.
Even when we've done superheroes, which was probably your chance to write something less dark, you
Right.
still chose to take it a dark route. So
Mhm.
I think this is maybe the first one you've written on the podcast that wasn't dark. If because
Actually,
yeah,
yeah. I
yeah,
think so.
and so I think it was just a bit it was a bit more fresh and a bit refreshing to hear you read something that wasn't so dark. And I think you also maybe had more
Nice.
fun with it when with some of the reading and even writing it. I'm sure you maybe felt a bit different writing it. And I know
Yeah.
you're obsessed with pirates anyway, so you would have been obsessed to write about it. But I think definitely it showed in the writing that you've done something a little bit different. And so maybe that's something to look at in future as well as try different approaches to things instead of always the theme of constantly dark and off. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm kind of bad at
I
that as well.
agree.
Sometimes when I do poems and stuff, they're always so dark and horrible. But
No, but you've been switching it up.
yeah,
Especially with your superhero story, you went
yeah,
fully comedy, I feel like.
yeah. I've been
And
leaning
that
into the
was
comedy with the recent stories. Yeah,
and also I feel like you do very well with comedy. I don't think I do well with comedy. I feel like some fun parts work for me, but like
hmm.
if I only write comedy, it's
Yeah.
gonna feel maybe a bit silly or like I don't know if that's
But
funny, you
But I would
know?
also say that's part of this podcast is
Yeah,
experimenting and trying things you're not comfortable with. And even if you
true.
write something and it ends up awful, you've tried it and you've tried something new, and then you get some critique from me and I get some
Yeah.
critique from you, and we learn about how we could have made that better or what we need to work on, and then later on you could improve that.
Yes.
So it's
I fully
definitely
agree.
yeah. But I did like your story. I thought it was as much as you had to keep stopping
You
because of
said like.
I did say like
You said like again. I said like twice. I can't swallow when someone's looking. That sounds really bad.
But you have been the whole time. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
I can't swallow when someone's looking.
No, okay. My eyes, I feel like I always look kind of tired. I feel like that's the compliment I've heard the most. You look tired today.
Well, you
Oh,
suit
you look
it,
so
so
tired. I'm like,
you suit the
thank
tired
you.
look.
I
If you
do.
looked awake, it would be really strange.
This is a
Yeah,
way.
that's kind of creepy. That would be like that's if you're a little doll. You could be a little porcelain doll in a horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
When the
like that.
camera makes me so white, I do look kind of like a doll, like James.
Where is? Oh, there he is. I see him. Hi,
He's here.
James. Parrot is saying hello. Hello,
Parrot.
hello, hello,
Parrot.
hello. Yeah. So, did you have a favorite part of your story? Was there something about your story you really loved?
What I'm most happy about is that it kind of flowed nicely. Some parts I feel like were cut off too fast because I wrote this kind of too slow paced for a short story.
Mm.
But
Which is why it ended up
otherwise,
being so long. I assume.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I also cut out parts because it was 2K words, so it made it a bit more choppy. But I feel like overall it flowed kind of well. That's what I
Okay.
liked. I like the descriptions of the people in here the most. I tried to make the characters a bit interesting. Maybe it was too much
No,
descriptions.
I don't think it was too much. Not, I would say if there's too much descriptions, it wasn't about the characters. Maybe about the characters' actions. I thought sometimes
Mm,
there were some times where you were saying things such as, "Oh, he did this with a big smile on his face," and all that, and you use a lot of that. And I felt sometimes that wasn't necessary. But your
true.
actual descriptions of the characters themselves, I thought was the highlight here. It's
Yeah.
when I said about the one earlier with the bony arms, and you could see his ribs and stuff. I thought like all those sort of descriptions were the highlight here. I thought your characters were really good because you always compliment my characters, and I thought you did do the characters, and you also compliment my names usually. But you've done the names and the characters. You did it all very well here. So
Oh, thank
I think you
you.
definitely did that well. That was the highlight I think for this.
Yeah, I feel like I wrote this like sort of more like how you would write something because of the way you usually describe characters and focus on like the story and the pacing maybe also.
I don't know about that. I think
Maybe not the
the parts
pacing.
with the characters and their descriptions were maybe similar to maybe how I would do it, but I think your actual story and your pacing and your ideas here are very much your own. I don't think your ideas or your pacing or the actual story is something I would have probably done. So I
Mm,
think the thing that maybe it just had in common with me is a bit is the character work because that's usually where
true.
I focus. So that's I usually focus on characters and ideas
True.
more so than environments or the overarching plot or whatever. So I think that's where the similarities are.
She
That was a
meowed.
yeah, that was a meow. Oh, did she see the bird?
No, she doesn't care. Oh, she's seeing the bird.
Chirp chirp
She is seeing the bird.
chirp chirp. So. Now we're getting onto the exciting part. We have each written a sea shanty. So this is going to be. Why are you doing that?
I don't know. I'm excited to hear yours. You forgot the melody apparently. You told me. But yeah, you're just gonna wing it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's start with your poem. Your poem? Your shanty. Your sea shanty.
Well, we usually do poems. This is okay, it could be a poem. Poem. Poem.
Poem?
A poem?
You've written a poem? It's a poem.
What
What
the
is wrong
hell?
with us?
We're done.
Kneve!
No, don't
This
kill
parrot
him.
is solid. Like, it's not even soft. It's just. Can you hear that?
Yeah, I can do that. That should be the background to the song. Just tapping. She
Oh, meow to you
meowed.
too, motherfucker.
Don't call my cat whatever you want by the name.
Don't call my cat whatever you want by the name. That is a sentence. That is a collection of
You know
words.
what people say. Don't call my child that. She meowed again. Oh, look at her.
You ready, Parrot? You ready for a sea shanty?
You know when you drink and your voice becomes like...
No.
Really? Really? Your voice doesn't croak up? My voice gets so croaky.
I wouldn't say so.
Red marks the tallest wave, raising all of our sails, until the red paints our souls. Red till the night turns the sea black.
Black
Black
night,
night,
save
save our
our
eyes.
eyes.
Black
Black night,
night,
save
save our
our
eyes.
eyes. The
Dark
dark
will
will
behold
behold
our
our red
red souls.
souls. Red
Red
till
till the
the
night turns the
turns a sea.
sea dark. Dark night, save
Save
our
our
eyes.
eyes.
Dark
Dark
night,
night, save
save
our
our
eyes.
eyes. The night
The night
will
will behold
behold
our
our
bones
bones as
as the
the waves
waves take
take
us
us down
down
by
by
our
our
oars.
oars.
Black
Black night.
night. Good job. It sounds like a rock song, doesn't it? Doesn't it?
Maybe a little bit. What were you
Okay.
thinking when you wrote this thing? Like,
Dude, I don't know. I wrote this today. I was just like, oh shit, I gotta
you
fucking
were just
write
what?
this
You were just
shit.
what? You were just L word?
Ooh.
Ooh, ooh, ooh. Is there anything you want to say about your shanty?
No, it's kind of depressing, so. It's okay. It's about pirates dying
Yeah.
and they bleed to death. So that's why their souls are becoming red and all that shit.
I see.
Hmm.
I was struggling. I was struggling singing along because I feel like the second time you changed the pacing of some of the words.
Oh,
Like
pacing. I might.
I felt like you slowed it down
Yeah, because I
compared
was
to the
waiting for you to catch on.
oh. I was trying to slow myself down because I felt like I kept going too fast.
No, because you were slowing down, so I was slowing down.
Oh, I felt like I was slowing down because you were slowing
No,
down.
because for this, you need to follow my lead, and you're a person who takes the lead. Um, so that's kind of confusing. Yeah.
It's a
Anyways, your
bendy
turn.
knife. I bent my knee. Off
Off
we
we
go
go to
to the
the
end
end
of
of
the
the
world,
world.
where hope
Hope
is
is
not
not
found,
found,
and
and
creatures
creatures
are
are
bound.
bound.
At the end
End
of
of
the
the world,
world, we'll
we'll
meet
meet
Lady
Lady Death.
Death. We'll
We'll
open
open our
our arms
arms
and
and
take in
take
her
in her
breath.
breath.
The seas
Seas
have
have
betrayed
betrayed
us,
us,
but not
not
without
without
cause.
cause.
Our
Sins
sins are
are
enormous,
enormous, our
our morals
morals
on
on pause.
pause. We're headed
Headed
this
this
way.
way,
It's
it's
the
the
price
price
that
that
we
we
pay
pay
for
for killing
killing
and
and thieving
thieving
every
every
day.
day. That was
Yeah, what?
horrible.
That was horrible, but we did it.
Yeah, no, I feel like that's why we should maybe practice beforehand, but we didn't really. So, yeah. Anyways, we did it. The
We did it.
words to the thing is out there.
Yeah, I think the issue we were having, like, I think we had both had the melodies right. The issue is more the pacing. So, like, at the tempo, I think we both had different
No,
tempos
but
every time
if
we were doing
we
it.
knew the melody, we would also get the pacing.
Mine was also about, I guess, people dying since they were going to the end of the world to meet death. So we both had very cheerful shanties.
I feel like pirate life is more like dying and killing and dying and killing and working on the ship and dying and killing. What do you think?
It's a very cheerful life.
I would love to be a pirate.
I think you love the idea of being a pirate. I think you would hate being a pirate if you were actually a pirate.
No.
Yeah.
No, I
Imagine
love it.
even the smell if you were on a pirate ship and you lived in the quarters, the crew quarters and stuff. It'd be
I
so
think
disgusting.
you would be more bothered by the smell than
I
me.
would, but yeah, it's pretty. I would cry.
Yeah, I don't think you would
I'd be
want to be a
jumping off the
pirate
ship.
though. I want to be a pirate, but I would want to be a bougie fancy pirate.
Hmm. Did
Who
you see
just
blue cheese?
bougie.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this episode.
That was a that's a very abrupt ending. Just suddenly, thank you so much for watching. I've had enough. I've had enough.
I was just gonna get it. Yeah. Thank you so much for watching the pod cast. The pod.
The podcasty. The casty podder. What's podcast in Norwegian?
Podcast.
That's so stupid.
Why would what would we even use that? Thank you for watching. We'll be back next week as always. So happy to have done the pirate theme because I love pirates, even though we kind of messed it up by being stupid and crazy and drunk. It was still fun. Leave comments. Tell us what you want to see next time. Goodbye.
Parrot says bye too. Bye, 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 bye.